Chris Lovell here with another edition of Pirate Talk, our first ever with Coach Isler, who's going to coach the Lady Pirates. The hoops is in the air, literally. I said your last name correct, yes?
Yes, you did.
How many people messed that up?
First time, pretty much every time.
They try to do the Isler.
Yep, that's the one I get the most.
Like you're a rock star or something, one of those kind of deals. Man, glad you're here. And I know this is it's been the timing in the summer was tricky for you guys getting here, moving here, but really glad that you're here and kind of now established and all that. Now you're ready to get going.
Yeah, it's great to be here. It's nice to be in a routine finally and kind of build some of those relationships with the girls and finally getting to go real practice now. And so it's a good time of the year.
Coach, let's take everybody through your journey just to get here. Tell everybody kind of knows your story, but you were a really good high school and college player. You coached with your dad. You were in the Metroplex doing some things like training-wise, but just kind of take us through your journey just to get here to Lubbock-Cooper High School.
Yeah, kind of a weird journey into it. I started as a grad assistant at Wayland Baptist University for my former college coach, Matt Garnett, and planned on staying just in the college world. Got a chance to go overseas to Israel to do a little bit of playing, and so I thought maybe keep my playing career going. And when I came back, I was helping my dad out at a 1A girls program in Elida, New Mexico, and about midway through that season, he was killed in a car accident, and didn't feel like I could leave my mother and sisters and go back overseas. So that kind of began my high school coaching career, and we had a lot of success. Won 4 state championships in 4 years there, and moved over to Clovis High School on the boys' side, which is my alma mater, and got to coach them for 4 years, and we had a
shout out to Jay Crockett.
There you go, Jay Crockett, former Red Raider, and
that's right. Yeah.
He was in the finals of his league overseas this past season, so he's still doing.
And y'all go
things.
way back,
back when he was 6'5" and not 6'8".
Well, and feel like you're carrying on your dad's legacy of coaching and just being around this right here.
Yeah, I'm growing up with a coach in the house. That's kind of what I've known my entire life, and it's something I'm comfortable in. And I enjoy competing. It keeps you around the game when your own career's over, and I just like trying to help kids find that same success.
Yeah, man. And I mean, Cooper's lucky to have you. So let's try to get to know you a little bit, but we also want to get to know your team a little bit too. You had to have known. I mean, have said that this team was really good last year.
Yeah,
played in the state finals and everything like that there in the Alamo Dome. So that probably makes this job fairly attractive. And maybe to some it's like, oh man, that scares me. There's a lot of expectation. But take me through your mindset about what you knew you were getting into with the program here.
Yeah, I'm a basketball junkie, so even being up in the Metroplex area last year, I kept track of New Mexico teams on the boys and girls side, and obviously in the Lubbock area since it's close to where I grew up, and got a chance to see some games online of the Lady Pirates late in the season, and got to see them win some big basketball games. But obviously, Cooper's an athletics school, and it's a school that takes pride in athletics. So knew what I was getting into when I came. But if there's no expectations, it's not a great job. You want some pressure. You want people that care about it enough to have some expectations. So it's a great fit for me.
So when you try to put a schedule together for this team, I'm sure some of that was already maybe in place based on your agreements last year. I don't even know the answer to that, but I mean, you just kind of take me through it because you want to test your group. You've got some returners, but it's not the same team. But just take me through that part of it when you kind of get here and catch your breath and I'm like, okay, here's now let's get ready for this season. What you put into it?
So the schedule was actually already done when I took the job.
Okay.
So but looking through it, it's got good pieces all the way through it. I mean, we start off in Argyle, playing Little Elm, who beat the Lady Pirates last year. So you're going to start off with a really good test with them. Then play South Lake right after that, and then we come home, play a road game with San Angelo Central, and we go right back up to the Fall Classic that the Dallas Mavericks put on, and that's a big time tournament. You got big 6A teams that are good, and it's a huge bracket, so we're gonna get tested early, which is a good thing, and I do like that about our schedule. So we'll throw them right in the mix, and we'll find out where we're at and who we are and what we need to work on.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. It certainly helps to have good guard play.
Right.
guards usually are the key to success in basketball, especially as the season goes along and it gets tougher. But Carissa Cortez, Magic Esquivel, two of the more well-known, I would say, guards in this part of the state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be big pieces. Those two have been battle tested, and they've been in big games. They've had to handle the pressure playing in a state tournament and in the finals, and that experience you can't get that in practice. You can't get that just playing in a normal tournament. I mean, those things, you got to be in those moments to learn from them, and so we're going to rely on those two to on their leadership and on them creating a culture in our practices that set the bar. We talked to them the other day of what does a championship practice look like? What's being a champion in the classroom look like? And we've got some young kids coming up onto the team that haven't been in those moments, so we're going to rely on those two not only on the floor but off the floor to help us grow up a little bit.
Yeah, it's players like that are seniors that they have a lot of effect on the younger players in a program that they don't even know that they have.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
It's like, okay, this is who I need to model myself after, and and they don't even realize they're doing that. But yeah, lead by example kind of thing. Tell me about style of play. Like, how do you want to? Is this one of those where let me show up and figure out what I've got, and then we'll kind of figure it out, or like, hey man, this is what I've always believed in. This is what I want to do. I mean, take me through offense, defense, or with what you want to share.
Yeah, sure. No, we. Day one coming into this job, you don't mess around with some things that have let them be that successful. So you've got those returners that have been kind of in the same system for 6 years now, coming through junior high and middle school up into the high school program. So we want to be adaptable. We're going to play pretty fast. Obviously, we're guard heavy, and we've got some shooters. We've got kids that can get out and run. So we'll play a fast style. We'll shoot the three a lot, but we're going to rely on adding some tweaks that are part of my philosophy to some things that they've already been doing over the past couple years. We don't want to tinker too much into some things that they're really good at. So, I don't have an ego when it comes to this stuff. If there's things that work that need to stay in place, we'll leave those, and we'll throw my own spin on it as we go through it.
Run and gun, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Tee it up high and let it fly, right? Lots of threes. I mean, and I know obviously that's what Chris and Magic and some of your other. Tell me through Carly Cronk. Take me through Carly Cronk. She was one of those players that played a lot last year. That it was kind of like I don't know. I want to say like this is a compliment, but like one of those dirty work players. Did a lot of the work on the glass, kept plays alive. Things that you don't show up in the box score kind of thing. How important is somebody like that that's kind of, maybe we don't talk about as a big-time scorer, but still a huge part? Yeah,
two sides to Carly. Carly, she has just a knack for being around the ball. She's got a knack for, like you said, if she doesn't come up with the rebound, she's tipping it and getting it to other players. And, man, what an unselfish player. She's a really good passer and a willing passer. Something we've challenged her with this year is like, you have those things that you've done really well, but we're gonna want her to step up into a scoring role this season. We've got to replace some graduation scoring and some of those minutes. So we're really challenging Carly to step out of that comfort zone and not just do the dirty work for us, which she's really good at, but be a little more selfish sometimes and go put the ball in the hole.
And by the way, she gets all those positive traits from her mom, not her dad. So anyway, just a wink in the wink in the gun right there to my man, Mr. Crunk, who I've known for a while. Take me through too some of the other, like I think you have Riley Robertson's finishing up volleyball, and then there's some new players to this roster as well. Like how did that go and your numbers and waiting for volleyball to kind of finish up, but just kind of take me through the totality of putting it together.
Yeah, so we've got a good mix of, like you said, Riley's coming from volleyball. JC Louder's going to be a new addition. Okay. She is a senior, but she's coming from volleyball, so she'll be a new addition to us.
Some size.
She does. Her and Naomi Wines is going to be, I think she's going to kind of have her breakout year this year.
She can run too.
She can.
I've seen that on the track.
Yeah, so she fits right into, kind of being a post player or a 4-5 that can really move. And JC brings us some physicality and some size to help Naomi in there. And so I think they give us a something we really needed as far as we've got really good guard play, but we got to be able to bang inside with some of the teams like Frisco Liberty and that have got some girls that can really play but are a lot bigger than some of our guards. And then we've got some young ones. We've got a freshman, Chloe Young, that's going to come in. I think she's going to make an immediate impact with us. Her and Taylor Bolin are going to be kind of our 2 and 3s that we're expecting to step into some of those minutes like Carly with some of the graduation that we lost. So got a good mix of some kids that have been around for a long time, and then some people they're going to step up into new roles they haven't played yet.
If people want to follow on Twitter, is it at LCP Girls B-Ball?
Yes.
Okay. And on Instagram, if they want to follow it there, it's the same exact thing, at LCP Girls B-Ball. So Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever we're calling it these days. It is there, and all that. Okay, so let's ask you a few questions. Favorite hoops player growing up?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
And it doesn't have to be like an obvious, like the Jordan, LeBron, all that. But maybe there's somebody off the radar that you're like, I just loved.
Well, I'll tell you this about me. I grew up on a ranch in the country. We did not have live television when I was growing up, but my grandparents did, and my granddad was a Celtics fan, and so I have every VHS game that the Celtics played when Larry Bird was around. So I grew up thinking those were live games. So Larry Bird is for sure who I mimicked in the driveway out on the Cleachy Rocks when I was a kid.
I love that. That is it's almost like the channel like Jimmy Chitwood from the Hoosiers movie.
That's it.
Out there on the farm shooting it in a peach basket and all that stuff.
Teach you to dribble well without some cement out there.
That's exactly Whenever you bounce the ball and there's dirt going everywhere, and you got to bounce it harder, which is not a bad trait to learn. Okay, so Celtics and the '80s Celtics, Casey Jones and Red Auerbach, the coaching, and we had
Kevin McHale,
and
Robert Parrish.
Some of the best footwork anybody will ever watch in the post.
That's post
Kevin
play.
McHale and Robert Parrish.
Oh, Kevin McHale was unbelievable.
Just pivot you to death. And Akeem Olajuwon would come on, but you just don't see those things anymore.
No.
It just doesn't exist.
Game's changed a little bit since then.
It has a little faster, and the 3-point line and all those things. Favorite hoops. So, is it fair to say that your favorite kind of hoops team growing up, whether it be pro or college, was the Celtics?
Growing up, I was a Celtics fan until I realized I wasn't watching live television back then.
That cracks me up.
Yeah, but
I've seen this game before. The score is the exact same.
Yeah, it's over and over, same ones. But I was after the Celtics, I was a Reggie Miller fan. Obviously, Larry Bird was coaching the Pacers back then. I was a Miller fan. Loved Allen Iverson and those Sixers teams, so I'm kind of a Sixers fan now, even though we haven't done very well lately. But I loved Allen Iverson's game. I was a point guard. I was small, and so I could take some things from him. And then Steve Nash was the next one. So I was a huge Nash fan.
Okay, love me some. Okay, your school. Let's see, your shoe brand of choice.
Shoe brand of choice.
Yeah, how do you if you hey man, I just rock this. Do you have a? Because people are very hardcore about these kinds of things.
They are. I flip around a little bit. I'm mostly a Nike guy.
Okay.
I'm mostly a Nike guy.
Most people are, but I just okay. Your favorite coaching cliche?
Coaching cliche. Oof.
That you use a lot. That you kind of lean on.
I don't know about that one. I try not to use a whole lot of cliches.
I get it, but
now if you ask my team, so. It's funny coaching terminology things. I use some different terminology that maybe our kids aren't used to, but most of that stuff came from I just grew up around my dad, and he was a different era of coaching. And,
I got you.
But they make fun of me all the time for some of the lingo we use for what we do. So I would say I stay away from cliches as much as possible, but maybe my lingo doesn't always hit home.
Favorite hoops movie?
Hoops movie. Yeah, I probably got to go Hoosiers.
Yeah,
got to go Hoosiers. I'm pretty old school.
I wrote some of these down. Did you see? Speaking of Nike, did you see Air?
I did. I did see
so
that
that's
one.
when kind of worlds colliding.
Yeah.
Like my hoops love, my
Your shoe.
shoe love, and then it's true story and all that stuff. Yeah, that was a good one. But Glory Road.
Glory Road's a great one.
Yeah,
I do tend to. I'm a documentary type person,
See,
so I
if it's
do
true
tend
story-
to go toward the true story stuff for sure.
And all those certainly were. Okay, so you guys' first game is actually, I think you play in this tournament on November 3rd and 4th, but you're going to scrimmage. I guess that's pretty quick here.
Yeah, it's coming up fast this Saturday, but we'll be up in Abilene. We'll be scrimmaging Jim Ned and Cristobal. We'll bring all of our teams. It'll be a freshman through varsity scrimmage, so we'll get our teams some situations and some game time.
Speaking of all your teams and everything like that, let's speak to who has surrounded you with from a coaching staff standpoint, and
Sure.
how they have helped you acclimate to. One, hey, here's kind of these players, and here's how we do things here. Here's how this school operates. Here's what Mr. Winton will get mad at us for if we do it wrong. Whatever.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
but take me through your staff a little bit.
No, so
I'm just kidding, Landon. Just kidding. It's just jokes.
McKenna Miller is my head assistant coach, and Austin Spain will be our JV coach, and then on the varsity bench as well. And then we have a new freshman coach, which is Destiny Lopez. She's been helping volleyball, so she hasn't been with us up to this point. But I think we get her tomorrow. Tomorrow will be her kind of coming back into the program. So they've been great. Honestly, a huge shout out to Coach Miller and Coach Spain. They had a tough job in the kind of interim between coaching, and they took those girls in the summer and made sure that the culture stayed and made sure the kids were good through all of that. And man, what a great job that they did with that.
Yeah, and everybody's trying to angle and figure out what's going on and who's this Coach Isler guy. And I mean, all kinds of. You're right. I mean, credit to McKenna and Austin for kind of keeping that thing afloat, because in the summertime, basketball is still extremely active.
It is.
And I don't think people grasp that if you're not involved with it. I mean, volleyball does the same thing, and baseball and kind of the fall and all that stuff. But yeah, hoops in the summertime is a big deal, because you can go put them in school tournaments, almost in school leagues and all these kinds of things.
Really
in the
fast.
summertime. And it gets you a jump start on the next year.
Yeah, it did, and and they didn't miss a beat through that time, and I think that was a big step to just making this transition a lot smoother. So, can't credit them enough for what they do there. And then obviously coming into a new school, and there's always behind the scenes things with the way things work, or who do you need to talk to, and they've been great. And Coach Miller had a baby girl right at the start of school, which so did my wife. So we're raising little girls kind of together now, and basketball season's going to be a tough time of year because we're gone a lot. So, we're really kind of relying on each other through this time.
That's great, man. And your district is there's rumors that there's some good there's some talent in your district and all those things. We won't get into. I mean, not hard to figure out, but it won't. The district won't be easy. But that's what all of these tough tests here in November and December are for.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to try to get ourselves tested early. Try to win some of those big games. You don't want to just get tested, but we're expecting our girls to compete, and our expectation is to win. And then you go right into district play, and one of the better districts in the state, and there's a lot of talent in our district. And we've got districts next to us. I think some of the TABC rankings came out. You got Monterey at 2. You got Amarillo High ranked 3. We got us at 6. So I mean, there's, it's West Texas girls basketball, baby, and it's all the time. It doesn't matter really who you're playing. You're gonna have a fight every night, and we want our kids ready for those fights.
May all your team shots go in.
There you go.
Man, Coach Isler, welcome to not just the district, but just the area and the school and all those things, man. I can't wait to watch your group, and so you get some really good kids on that team and good coaches and all that stuff. So it should be a lot of fun.
Man, I appreciate you. Thank you for what you do for us.
Absolutely, man. This has been another edition of Pirate Talk for Jaden Isler, for Chris Lovell, for Colton Coons behind the camera. We'll talk to you next time.